All right, we'll say good morning. Let's begin. Today's daf is Nun Tes 59. We are picking up Mamish last couple of words on Nun Chesam with base 58b. My tia. So the Gemara, remember again, the Brisa spoke about if an animal ingests tia. So what's tia? Remember again, Shasamayim Ram Hilita tia Chilsas Bilbun Achos Sam Kshera. Ultimately, if the animal ingests this tia, the animal is still kosher. What's tia? Amar Rav Yehuda, top of Nun Tes. Ikra dimirarisa, some type of very bitter root. So again, even though again this bitter root is somewhat harmful, the ingestion of it does not make the animal a treifa. Amar Rav Yehuda, Haiman da'achal. So this is actually very interesting. Rav Yehuda says, Haiman da'achal, a person who ate tilsa tikli chilsis, a person who goes ahead and ate 3 tikla, right? It's an amount, 3 tikli of chilsis. Aliba rekana, on an empty stomach, mishtalach mashche, his skin will fall off him, which we'll say is another way of saying it's not good for you. It's not good for you, right? So a person that eats chilsa on an empty, a lot of chilsa on an empty stomach, mamish, his skin falls off him. Rashi says, mishtalach mashche, nifshat oro, his skin peels off. Shachilsis mechamamaso ma'od, vachsoso kadachas. Apparently, chilsis drives up your body temperature to very high degrees, gives you a fever, ultimately again, and it causes the skin to peel, to shed. I'm going to be Avo. B'didi hava ovda. Rabbi Avo says, I want to tell you something. This happened to me. Va'achli chad tikla chilsis, and I only ate 1 tikla of chilsis. V'ilo diasi v'maya mishtalach mashchay. And if it were not the fact that there was a pool of cold water right next to me, my skin would have fallen off. V'kiyamti ba'atzmi, and I said to myself, hachachma tichya ba'aleha, that ultimately, again, wisdom will go ahead and save its owner. I was supposed to say, so what does that mean? That ultimately, again, he was wise enough ultimately to understand that it was the tilsa that did this to him, and wise enough also to know that it was a pool of cold water that saved his life. Amar Rav Yosef, Haiman da'achal shitsar bi. So let's listen to this. Now we're talking about like lethal culinary combinations, right? So listen to this. So Rav Yosef says, a person who eats Haiman da'achal shitsar bi, a person who eats 40 eggs, va'arboy amagozi, 16 eggs, arboy amagozi, 40 nuts, v'shev botisa de parchi. And ultimately, again, and we'll say 7 caper berries, right? 7 caper berries, berries from a caper bush. V'shasi revi'asa deduvsha, and he drinks a revi'as of honey. Bitikufas tamuz, during the summer. Ali barekana, on an empty stomach. Misaker talya delibe. Literally, I will say like his heart falls out of his chest. In other words, not good for you. Not good for you. So first of all, anytime you're eating 40 eggs, it can't be good, right? Even leaving aside the other stuff. But again, the idea is that this combination, the Gemara says, is quite, it literally will say, misaker talya delibe means literally the heartstring will snap. Okay, so what it means is it's a lethal combination. Hahu bartavya. So the Gemara goes back to animals. Hahu bartavya, the asla bereish kalusa. There was a young deer that came to the house of the Reish Kalusa. Havi mafsik karan basraisa. Its hind legs were missing. So it says, so the shaila was now, is this animal kosher, treif? Bad ke Rav b'tzomas hagidin v'achsherei. So Rav checked the tzomas hagidin. I must remember again, the tzomas hagidin is the area where the 16 sinews kind of come together, call us right by the bottom of the tibia. So remember we spoke about this before. So Rav checked the tzomas hagidin v'achsherei, and he declared the animal to be kosher. Savar lamechal minei ba'umtso. He wanted to eat some of the meat. Umtso, which means eno tzli kol kach. What do they call it? Rare, right? He wanted to eat some of the meat rare. Rashi says, ela molcho ma'od v'tzoleh kol du al gachal. So he was going to eat some of the meat rare. Now both say, in order to eat meat rare, what you do in halacha is, because remember you have a blood issue, you salt it heavily. If you salt it heavily, that extracts the blood. Cook it over an open fire, and you could eat your meat medium, well, not even medium rare, but rare. Amar le Shmuel. So Shmuel said to the Reish Kalusa, he said to him, Rav said, Shmuel said to Rav, Amalei Shmuel, Lo chayish mar linikure. So Rebbe, are you not concerned? Ultimately, again, nikure also means that it was bitten. Rashi says, linikure, shemanishcha nachash sham sakanas nafashas. Are you not concerned that maybe the snake had some kind of snake, that maybe the animal had some type of snake bite, and there's some type of venom inside of the animal? That was in general, even if there's venom inside the animal, if you go ahead and you cook it off, you'll be fine. If it's rare, there's a concern that the venom may still be present. Amalei, my takanta. So he said to him, what do you think? What would be the right way to go ahead and take care of this meat? So no svei bitanura, di'ihu badik nafshe. The easiest way is roast it in an oven. Roast it in an oven. Because if the animal indeed is infected with venom, you'll see the effects of the venom while it's roasting in the oven. Osve, sure enough, they put the deer meat in the oven. Nafal tilchi. The meat began to dissolve. So apparently the intense heat of the oven caused the meat to dissolve. Now, why did the meat dissolve? Apparently because of the presence of the snake venom. So Kari Shmuel alei de Rav, Shmuel says, so we'll say essentially Rav saved Shmuel's life. Or I should say, Shmuel said Rav's life. Kari Shmuel alei de Rav, lo ye'una l'tzadik kolav. So we'll say, so Shmuel said about Rav, that you see, nothing terrible will ever happen to the tzaddik. So Shmuel says, you see that Rav was saved, chas v'shalom, from ingesting this poisonous meat. Kari Rav alei de Shmuel, and Rav said about Shmuel, kol raz lo anas lach. No secret is withheld from you. So as I said, it's very beautiful. So remember again, so Shmuel sees that Rav is such a tzaddik that he saved from this calamity. Rav sees that Shmuel is so incredibly wise that he understands things in a different light. Okay, good, beautiful. Says the Mishnah, Simani behema v'chaya neru min haTorah. Now the Mishnah says as follows: the simanim of a kosher behema and chaya are said in the Torah, right? Mafresh says parsa, shosas shesa. Ultimately, again, split hooves, choose its cud. That's mentioned explicitly in Torah. V'simani ha'of lo ne'emru. Now, interestingly enough, the simanim of a kosher bird are actually not mentioned in the Torah, which is actually quite interesting. What we have in the Torah is what? The Torah tells us which types of birds are kosher and which types of birds are not. From that, we glean characteristics. But there is no explicit statement, these birds are kosher, these birds are not. Amru chachamim, but the rabbi said, Kol of hadores tameh. Any predatory bird is tameh. Kol sheyeshlo etzba yisera. Any bird that has an extra toe. Vizefek, and it's vizefek is the gizzard, vikor, or the crop, vikor kabano, or its gizzard niklaf. We'll say that means the gizzard, the layer of the gizzard can be peeled. Those animals are kosher, right? Those animals are tahar. Those birds. Rabbi Elazar Tzadok Omer, kol of hacholik is ragalav tameh. That's actually very interesting. Rabbi Elazar says any bird that literally divides its feet. So what this is referring to, as we're going to see, is a bird that on its foot has two claws in front, two claws in back. The way you're able to see that is when it grabs on, let's say, to a branch, right? How does it support itself on the branch? If there are two what we call toes, but two toes on the front, two toes on the back, that animal is not kosher. What's the reason for that, Rabbi Osai? Because that's the siman of predatory birds. That's the predatory birds. Ubechagavim, when it comes to grasshoppers, what type of grasshoppers are kosher? Kol sheyeshlo arba raglaim. Any grasshopper that has 4 legs. Va'arba knafayim, 4 wings, right? V'kartsulim. We'll say kartsulim ultimately, again, literally are hopping legs, right? Legs that are meant ultimately, again, for the grasshopper to hop around. Uknafav chopenes rubo. And its wings cover the majority of its body. Rabbi Yossi says, V'shmo chagov, and it's known as a grasshopper. In other words, that's the designation it has as a chagov. Ubedogim, what about fish? Kol sheyeshlo snapir v'kaskesas, anything that has fins and scales. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, shnei kaskasin v'snapir echad. Rabbi Yehuda says one thing that we'll discuss what this means. 2 kaskasin and 1 snapir. Ve'eluhin kaskasin, ha-kvuin bo. We'll say, what are kaskasin? Those are the scales that are embedded on the animal. Usnapirin, and I will say, what's the snapir? Haporeach bahen. that which the animal uses to swim with, i.e., its fins. Good, says the Gemara. I will say, it's interesting, by the way, the title of this parak is Eila Trefus. We've spent all of this time discussing like what's wrong with animals, right? And now, interesting, just sometimes the Gemara just follows this interesting order. One would have thought that a Mishnah like this would have been at the beginning of the Masechta, or at the beginning of this section, right? Okay, good. We'll see why it's here. Tanrabanan. Elohein simane behema. We'll say these are the simanim of a kosher animal. This is actually very interesting. So, kol behema mafres as parsa. So, kol behema shema'ala gira. So, we'll say any animal that has split hooves. Furthermore, any animal that chews its cud. So listen to this. Kol behema shema'ala gira. Any animal that chews its cud. Bi'adua she'in la shinayim lemala utahora. This is actually very interesting. Gemara is telling me an interesting principle. Any animal which chews its cuds does not have upper teeth. Does not have upper teeth, right? Does not have upper teeth, meaning towards the front of its jaw. And therefore, again, it's kosher. The Gemara says, Uklalahu. Is that true? Is that true that any animal that chews its cud does not have upper teeth? V'hari gama. What about the camel? Dema'ala geruhu. Both say a camel actually chews its cud. Ve'ein lo shinayim lamala. Now, both say, now, what we're really saying is as follows. Any animal that chews its cud and does not have upper teeth is kosher. Now, both say, we're going to see the reason why this is very important later on is why. What happens if you find only a part of an animal? And the part of it, you find the jaw. And the jaw does not have upper teeth. Well, if you're telling me that any animal that does not have upper teeth chews its cud, that means that what? Based on identifying an animal by its dental records, right, I can go ahead and assume that it's kosher. To which the Gemara says, is that true? Look at the camel. The camel chews its cud, and therefore, again, does not have upper teeth, yet we know the camel is not kosher. Why isn't the camel kosher? It does not have split hooves. So your klal is wrong. So the Gemara says, vitame, and a camel is not kosher. To which the Gemara says, no, nivi isle. We'll say a camel does have, nivi, the literal translation is, I think, like molars, right? The camel does have some basic teeth in its mouth. It doesn't have a full front of mouth filled with teeth, but it does have some basic teeth. I have a Hari ben Gamal, but a young camel. The Nivi Nami Leslie. We'll say a young camel doesn't even have those molars. Visu. So we'll say, so the point is you have a young camel that doesn't have molars, does chew its cud, it has no teeth, does chew its cud, yet the animal is not kosher. So your principle is incorrect. So the Gemara says, Visu, furthermore, Hari Shafan Va'ar Neves. So we'll say, we're going to discuss these definitions. We often translate Shafan and Arneves as animals in the rabbit hair family. So we'll discuss what they are in greater depth. Dema'ala gerehin, both say they do chew their cud. V'yesh lahen shinayim lamala, and they do have upper teeth. Utemeyin, and ultimately they're tamei. So we'll say all we're doing over here is we're attacking the principle. You told me that any animal that chews its cud does not have upper teeth. I'm telling you, it's not true. It's not true. Here are real life examples. The Gemara says, Va'od, shinai miksiba oraisa. Furthermore, again, why are you even bringing up teeth? The Torah, when it discusses the simanim of a kosher animal, makes no mention of teeth. What does it make mention of? Right? Makes mention ultimately, again, of chewing its cud and split hooves. That's all. To which the Gemara says, this is what it means to say. So say any animal which does not have teeth on the upper part of its jaw. Right? I know, we can say with absolute certainty that what? That ultimately it chews its cud, it has split hooves, and it is kosher. I believe dog beparsosel. Says I don't understand. Why do you need to rely on principles like this? Just check. Just check. To which the Gemara says, Kigon shahayu parsoseh chatuchos. Because what we're dealing over here is with an animal that lacks the other identifying symbols. For example, the hooves were cut off. Those were cut off. So the Gemara says, Ukid Rav Chisda, Dam Rav Chisda, Hayu Mahalik b'midbar. Listen to this incredible case. Hayu Mahalik b'midbar. A person was walking in the desert. Umatza behemoth sheparsoseh chatuchos. And we'll say what happens. He finds an animal and the hooves are cut off. So we'll say, but yet I'm hungry. I'm in the desert. And what happens? Bodek befia. What do? Check the animal's mouth. If it doesn't have upper teeth, then bi'adua shehi tahora. Then ultimately, again, I know that it's tar. So the absence of upper teeth tells me that this animal chews its cud and has split hooves. V'im lav, but ultimately, again, if not, in other words, if the animal does have teeth, bi'adua shehi tameya. Ultimately, again, it is tamei. O bilvad sheyakir gamo. But I will say this is true as long as what? You know what camels look like. In other words, I will say what you do have to be able to do is to be able to ascertain that this animal is not a camel. So the Gemara says because camels are the exception to this rule, right? Camels ultimately, again, don't have front teeth, do chew their cud, but don't have split hooves. As long as you could say with absolute certainty that this is not a camel, you're good to go. So the Gemara says, "Vachiyak gamo." Gamo, novel is isme. What are you talking about? Camels do have teeth. They have those little molars. Elo ubilvachiakir ben gamo. Right? Ultimately, again, rather what it means is as long as you can recognize a young camel. Because that's the only concern you'd have to run into, that maybe this animal ultimately is a young camel. So the Gemara says, Lav amrit ika ben gamo. Ika nami mina achrina dedami ben gamo. So it says the Gemara, well, once you acknowledge that there is an exception to this rule, the ben gamo, right? The ben gamo does not have teeth, right? Chews its cud, but yet does not have split hooves. So maybe there are other exceptions to this rule as well. To which the Gemara says, "Lo, no, I'm telling you, the young camel is the only exception to this rule." How do I know this? Saka daitcha ditani di Rabbi Shmuel ve'es hagamal ki ma'ala geirahu. So let's remember again. What does the pasuk say? Achazelo tochlu ma'alei agir mefresei parsa. Es hagamal ki ma'ala geirahu umafris. Uparsa inonena mafris. Well, let's listen to this. What does the Torah say? You have to eat animals that have split hooves and chew their cud, but you can't eat the camel. Why? Because even though it chews its cud, it doesn't have a split hoof. So we'll say, what does the Torah Kadosh do? The Torah singles out the camel. The camel is singled out. Why is the camel singled out? Because, listen to this, Shalit ba'olamo yodea she'in lecha davar shema'ala gera v'tamei ela gamo. Because I will say, the Ribbon Shalom, who is in charge of his world, knows that there is only one animal on the face of this entire planet that chews its cud and does not have split hooves. And what is that? That is the camel. Lefichach parat bo hakasav. Therefore, ultimately, again, the Torah goes out of its way to identify it. So we'll say, so again, second wide line in Testament Aleph of the intermediate lines. So we'll say, so remember again, the Gemara just says something very dramatically amazing. If I'm walking in the desert, I come across an animal. I'm hungry, but the animal's hooves are cut off. And I want to know, can I eat it or not? What do I need to do? Check its mouth carefully, right? Check its mouth. We'll say, right, if there are no teeth, I'm good to go. As long as what? As long as what? I know what a camel looks like. Or in order that I can be absolutely sure that this animal is not a camel, then as long as that animal does not have teeth, that is an indication that halacha l'maisa, this animal has split hooves, chews its cud, and the animal is kosher. Next case, Amar Rav Chisda, I was traveling. Umatza behema shepia gomin. Listen to this case. In this case, the animal's mouth, going literally means like destroyed or mutilated. I can't check the teeth of the animal. So what happens? Ubodek the parasosea. I check the hooves. In parasosea sadugos, if the hooves are split, biadua shehi tahora. Then I can know for sure the animal is tar. Vim lav. I will say if not, biadua shehi tamea. So I do a hoof check. As long as the hoof check comes back okay, split hooves, the animal is kosher. So we'll say what the Gemara is saying over here is as follows. Essentially, there is no such thing as an animal that has split hooves that doesn't chew its cud. If it has split hooves, it chews its cud. Therefore, a hoof check is enough to go ahead and ensure that the animal is kosher. But there's one caveat. Ubilvad sheyakir chazer. Chazer, right? Or we'll say as long as what? As long as you know what a chazer looks like. I mean, the one that walks on four legs, right? As long as you know what a chazer looks like. So we'll say why? Because a chazer is the one exception to this. A chazer, I will say, a pig is an animal which has split hooves but does not chew its cud. So as long as you know what a chazer looks like, hoof identification is enough to permit the animal. To which the Gemara says, 1 second. La vamrit ika chazer, ika nami mina achrina dedami lechazer. I don't understand. Maybe there are other animals. How do you know the chazer is the only animal on the face of the earth that has split hooves and doesn't chew its cud? Maybe there's another animal also that has split hooves and chews its cud and does not chew its cud. Therefore, hoof identification is not enough to ascertain the kashrus status of the animal. So listen to this. The es hachazir ki mafris parsuhu. Both the Torah goes out of its way to say, and the chazer, even though it has split hooves, it doesn't chew its cud and it's not kosher. Shalit ba'olam yodei shein l'chad davar shemafris parsa v'tamei ela chazer. Lefichach parat ba'a kasavhu. So also listen to this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows his world. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows that there is no other animal in this world besides the chazer that has split hooves and does not chew its cud. Therefore the Torah goes out of its way to identify the chazer. And therefore, Allah Kalamaisa, if you are traveling and you come across an animal and you can't identify it by its dental records, you can go ahead and use hoof identification. And as long as it has split hooves and you know that it's not the chazer because you know what a chazer looks like, then Allah Kalamaisa, that's enough to ascertain the kashrus status of the animal. Beautiful. So the Gemara goes right. Another case. The takeaway message is when you travel, bring food with you, right? When you travel, bring stuff. Person's traveling in the desert, and he finds an animal again whose, the mouth is destroyed, and the mouth is mutilated. The idea is you cannot identify the animal through its teeth or lack thereof. Now watch this. So this animal, its mouth is mutilated, and its hoofs are cut off. So again, right, you might want to pass on this one in general. But again, you're hungry. So what happens? Both, you have to understand something. We live in such different times. We could pass on a lot of things. So I was talking about a different reality. So what do you do about it? I don't know if the animal is kosher or not. I'm sorry? It's alive. So it has to be alive, right? Otherwise, if it's not alive, the truth is, you could come to potential cases. Ultimately, again, where maybe you saw it shechted by someone. Because remember, again, but yes, this animal is alive. You're going to shecht it. So let's say what happens. So what do you do with it? Bodik bibsara. So let's say you go ahead and you check its meat, right? You check its meat. So the Gemara says, I'm sorry. You check. So we'll say. Psara literally means meat. What we're really going to see is what you're really checking over here is the muscle, right? We're going to be checking the muscle pattern, as we're going to see in just a moment. If the muscle pattern has a crisscross pattern, then you know this animal is kosher. And if not, you know that the animal is not kosher. As long as you know. Arud is like a wild donkey. As long as you know the muscle tone, right, of a wild donkey. So the Gemara says, Lav Amrit Ika Arud Ika Nami Mina Achrina. But once he's saying that there's the wild donkey that has this crisscross muscle tone, so don't you have to be concerned for other animals as well? To which the Gemara says, Gemiri Deleka. We have a Masorah that only kosher animals have the shesi va'ariv arrangement of muscle. Other animals do not, with the exception of the wild donkey. So as long as you know what a wild donkey looks like, you're good to go. The heichabadik, Rabbi say, where am I checking for this crisscross muscle formation? Rabbi say, in the flanks of the tail. So you check the flanks of the tail. If the muscle tone is crisscross, then halacha l'maisa, again, the animal is kosher. If not, the animal is timeya. Beautiful. Simani chaya. So if you remember again, the Mishnah said, Simani behema, the Brisa said, the Mishnah said, Simani behema v'chaya. Right? Nemru min haTorah. The simanim of a kosher behema and chaya. Remember again, behema is a domestic animal, chaya is a non-domestic animal. So the Gemara says, Tan Rabbanan, Elu simani chaya, chaya bichla behema hi, the simanim. So we'll say, what does this mean? What do you mean these are the simanim of a behema and a chaya? We'll say, for simanim purposes, behema and chaya are the same category. Right? There's no different. There's behema and chaya not reckoned differently for simanim. So why are you mentioning the way the Mishnah reads is strange? Right? Simani behema v'chaya never in Torah. The simanim of a behema and a chaya mentioned Torah. Which will say what it sounds like is that behema have one set of simanim, chaya have a different set of simanim. But the simanim for a chaya and behema, what's in other words, split hooves, chewing its gut are the same for behemoths and chayas. What does it mean? I'm Rabbi Zera. No. Chaya is something different. I'm days lahatir chelba. I will say the reason why simanim are important by a chaya are to ultimately again permit the chalev. I will say the halacha is the prohibition to consume chalev is a din in behema, not a din in chaya. You are permitted to consume the chalev of a chaya. So I will say when we speak about the simanim of a chaya, what we're saying is what type of simanim does an animal need in order to be able to eat its chalev. If it's a chaya, so we'll say kosher chalev is any chaya that has split hooves and chews its cud. So what we're essentially saying over here is the simanim of a behema and chaya are necessary to permit its consumption. But by chaya, those simanim have another purpose, which is to tell you that not only is the meat permitted for consumption, but what? The chalev is permitted for consumption as well. So the Gemara says, this is what it means to say, Elu simani chaya shechel bamoter. These are the simanim of a chaya that ultimately again allow you to consume its chalev. Now, as we're going to see right now, chaya does have additional simanim. How do you know that this is the type of chaya and that its chalev is going to be permitted? So, of course, split hooves and chewing its cud is the beginning. But as we're going to see now, there are also additional simanim. Here we go. Koshi yeshbo karnaim utelafayim. Any chaya that has horns and split hooves. Right, it's got to have horns. If it has horns, then it's a chaya whose chalev is permitted. Rabbi Dosa Omer yeshla karnaim. Rabbi Dosa says that it has to have horns. So the Gemara says if it has horns, yeshla karnaim, iya tatzarach lachsur ala talfayim. Right, if it has horns or bosai, then you know for sure that what that it has split hooves. Yeshla talfayim, but if it has split hooves, tzarach ata lachsur al karnaim. You still have to check ultimately that it has horns. The keresh. Rabbi said, what about a keresh? We're going to discuss that a keresh is a specific type of animal, which we will discuss. When it comes to the keresh, afa pi she'ein lo ela keren achos. Even though it has only one horn, mutter. Again, we'll discuss what the keresh is in just a little bit. So the Gemara says, klalahu, is this true? Meaning, is this statement that you just made, is this a general principle that applies to all cases? After all, v'hari eis. Rabbi say, look at the eis, right? The eis is the goat. The yesh lo karnaim utalfayim. Right? Rabbi say the eis is an animal that has horns and it has split hooves. V'chel bo aser. Yet its chalev is going to be aser. Rabbi say, now why is the chalev of an eis aser? Because an eis is categorized as a behema and not as a chaya. So Rabbi say, so the Gemara says over here, you're telling me that any animal ultimately again that has horns and split hooves is considered to be a chaya whose chalev is permitted, yet an eis has horns and split hooves, but yet its chalev is aser as it is categorized as a behema. To which the Gemara says, kruchos ba'inan. Because Rabbi say ultimately again you need layered horns. So say in the horn world apparently again there's more like smooth horns and there's layered horns. In order ultimately again for the chaya to be, or for the animal to be considered a chaya, the horns themselves must be layered. V'hari shar, the kruchos, the chalba aser. But say, but a shar, right, an ox has layered horns, but yet its chalev is aser. To which the Gemara says, now it does have to be layered, but what? Charukos ba'inan. It also has to be grooved. It has to be grooved. Okay. V'hari eis, back to eis. The charukos, the chalba aser. I will say by an eis, ultimately again the horns are grooved, but lemais again by an eis the chalev is still aser. Mifutsalos. I will say they have to branch out. Right? They have to be branched, right? So we'll say, and therefore again by the eis they're not branched. I bahari tzvi. But what about the deer? Both say the ein mifutsalos. Yet by a deer which is a chaya, the horns are not branched. The chelbo mutter. Ultimately, again, the chalev is mutter. You're right; they don't have to be branched. Rather, chadudos. They have to be rounded. They have to be rounded. Helchach heichad de miftzala lo dina v'lo daina So also listen to this. Therefore, when the branches are miftzala, so we'll say, when the horns miftzala, we'll say means they're branched, right? When the horns are branched, lodina v'lo daina. Look at Rashi just a moment. Heichad the miftzala lodina v'lo daina. Kilomar ein laharher v'lachzor achar simen achar shein pitzul bekarne behema. So we'll say, when the horns are branched, that is a definitive sign that this animal is a kosher chaya. Right, and therefore, again, you can eat the chaylev, and no further investigation is necessary. Hecha delo miftzala, Rabbi will say where the horns are not branched, ba'inon kruchos, chaduros, vicharukos. Then Rabbi will say in that case, the horns must satisfy 3 criteria. They must be layered, they must be rounded, right, and they must be rounded. So the Gemara says. And they must be grooved. I'm sorry. They must be layered, grooved, and rounded. V'hu demivla chirakaihu. I will say, but that's only true of what? When we talk about the grooves, look at Rashi. Demivla chirakaihu, Rashi says, charitzein tekufos usmuchin umuvla and zebazeh. That's only where the grooves ultimately lead one into the other. V'hainu sveka deiza dekarus, or karkus. I will say, this is the issue that came up with the A's, with the goat of Karkuz. A Karkuz goat, a Karkuz A's. What was the issue with the Karkuz A's? Also listen to this. Because a Karkuz is a place. So there was an issue with the A's of Karkuz. Hahi is a Karkuz, the Havi Beresh Kalusa, because also there was this A's, there was this goat, this Karkuzian goat. And what happens? The Akar, so I'm sorry, Hayi is the karkos dahavi beresh kalusa. The akar male tzana de tarba minei. They shechted it, and they got a basket full of chaylev from it. A lot of chaylev from this Karkuzian goat. So both say, now what's the shayla? The shayla is this Karkuzian goat a behema or is it a chaya? So Rav Achai Aser. Rav Achai said ultimately again, you cannot go ahead and eat from it. Rav Shmuel Bereid Rav Yavo Amar Achol Minei. Sorry. Rav Shmuel Bereid Rav Yavo Achol Minei. Rav Shmuel Bereid Rav Yavo ate from it. He himself ate from it, pasking that this Karkuzian goat had the status of a chaya, and therefore its chaylev was mutter. Kari Anafshe. He said. So Rav Shmuel Bereid Rav Yavo said about himself, Mepri piish tisba bitno. We'll say literally translated, from the fruit of the mouth of a person you shall satiate your soul. So we'll say what he was ultimately saying was, because I'm a good Talmud and I listened to my Rebbe, I heard from my Rebbe that the Karkuzian goat is a chaya, and therefore its chaylev is mutter, and as a result of the fact that I paid attention in shir, my belly is full. Right? Sometimes it pays to pay attention. Shalchu mitam hilchos hakavasei de Shmuel Bereid Rabbi Yavo. So we'll say they paskin that the halacha fal Shmuel Bereid Yavo, the Karkuzian goat is a chaya, and therefore its chaylev is mutter. However, Hizaru b'Rabbeinu Achai shemeir ene golu. But be respectful of Rav Achai, even though we don't paskin like Rav Achai, right? Even though we paskin that the chaylev is mutter, be careful with Rav Achai who paskin that it's mutter. Be respectful of him, even though we don't adopt his decision. Why? Because he is the light of our eyes in the diaspora. Even though we don't paskin like Rav Achai over here, nevertheless, what? Rashi says, He's our Rabbeinu Achai lino bo covered, velidon lefanav ke'alacha, achi yachzer bo, velo la'atira befanav mashu oser. What they were saying is, be respectful of Rav Achai, and literally, do not go ahead and paskin against him in his presence. In his presence, exhibit derech eretz, right? Why? Because he is the light of our eyes. He's one of the Gedolei Hadar. So even though you don't pass like him in this situation, conduct yourself with respect in a sense. We'll say such, by the way, an incredible insight out as to how to disagree agreeably. We'll say that you could have differences of opinion, sharp differences of opinion, but sharp differences of opinion never allow us to compromise someone else's kavod and dignity. The halacha is not like Rav Achai. It's not like him. But yet the Rabbanan are saying, but when you're in his presence, treat him with respect. Not only because he's the Gadol Hadar, also because he's a human being. I will say this, we don't have to get into this, but this is something clearly that has been lost in contemporary society. The ability to disagree with another human being respectfully and agreeably. Everyone has lost this art form. I'll say, but this is one of the things. Disagreeing with people is in our DNA, right? We argue about anything and everything. We disagree about anything and everything. But our avodah is to always do that with incredible respect. The Gemara goes weiter. Amr Rav Yehuda, Keresh Tivya de Bei Eloi. Supposed to listen to this. So the Gemara says over here, if you look at Rashi says the Bei Eloi Shem Yar. Shem Yar. So listen to this. I'm sorry. V'keresh ava b'she'en lo ela kerenach. So remember again, the Mishnah said that the keresh, even though it only has one horn, ultimately again it is mutter. So the Gemara says, what's the keresh? Amar Rav Yehuda, keresh tivya de beilai. What's the keresh? The keresh is a deer of beilai. So Rabbi said keresh is a particular type of deer that only had one horn. It specifically refers to the deer of beilai. So tigris. We're going to talk about different kinds of unique animals. Tigris is Aryeh de Beilai. I will say the tigris is the lion that comes from Beilai. Amrav Kahana, Teisha Am Sahavi Bein Una Lu'una de Aryeh de Beilai. I will say there are 9 amas between one ear and the other ear of the lion that comes from Beilai. I will say that's a pretty big lion, right? 9 amas between one ear and the other. So obviously it's a bit hyperbolic, but the idea is saying that the lion that comes from Beilai was fierce. Amrav Yosef, Shisser Amsa Havi Mishcha de Tavi de Beilai. Rav Yosef says, this keresh animal, which we identify as the deer that comes from Beilai, it is 16 amas in length. We'll say 6 amas. We'll say, just understand, 16 amas in length is like 42 feet, right? It's 42 feet in length. That's how big this deer is. Rabbi Eloi Amar. So let's listen to this. Rabbi Eloi. The Bei Eloi. I read that wrong. The TV debate like Amar case of Rabbi Shmuel ben Chananya. I say the Caesar once said to Rabbi Shmuel ben Chananya, Elohechem ka'aryeh masil. Your God compares himself to a lion. Tichsev aryeh sha'ag milo yira. The lion roars out. Who won't be afraid? So we'll say, so the idea is Cheshach Baruch was the lion who roars. So the Caesar said to Rabbi Shmuel ben Chananya, your God calls himself a lion. But yet again, my Rabbi say, what's so great about a lion? Parsha katil aryeh. Ultimately, the strong warrior can kill a lion. So your God is calling himself a lion, yet what? A strong warrior has the ability to kill a lion. Amarle, lav kai aryeh masil, ka'aryeh de beilai masil. Our God is not compared to a regular lion. Our God is compared to the lion of Beilai. Right? They both say that lion that's 9 amas in between, one from one ear to the next. A huge, fierce lion that cannot be killed by anyone. Amarle ba'ina de michsislei. The Caesar said, I'd like to see that lion. Amarle lo matzis chazislei. To which Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya says to the Caesar, nope, can't see that, it's going to be too much for you. Amarle ivra chazina. I'm the Caesar, and I want to see the lion. So let's say, so what happens? Boy rachami. So Rabbi Shmuel ben Chananya davened is'ake miduchtei. And sure enough, the lion of Beilai began to make its way through to Rome. When it was 400 parsos, that's a very large distance. When it was 400 parsos away, so what happens? Nihem chad kala. It let out one roar. And I was saying, from that one roar, 400 parsos away, so what happens? Afilu kol Nihem chad kala. Afilu kol ma'abarta v'shura deromi nafal. I will say, at a distance of 400 parsos, all of the pregnant women in Rome miscarried, and all of the walls fell down. So intense was that one roar. From 400 parsos is a massive distance. Rome shook. So what happens? The lion keeps coming close to Rome. At a distance of 300 parsos, Nihem kalachrina. The animal let out another roar. So what happens? So the Gemara says, Nasr kivi v'shine digavri. We'll say what happens? People's teeth fell out. Or the roar was so intense that it caused the teeth of people to fall out. Va'afu nafal mikursei. Even the Caesar fell off his throne to the ground. La'ara. Amrlei b'matusa minach. So So the Caesar says, Rabbi Shmuel ben Chananya, please, can you please go ahead and daven for the lion of Beit Tivi to go back home. So what happened? Bar Rachami Alei, he davened v'ahadar leila asrei. And ultimately, again, the lion returned back. The lion returned back to its own. So what's the Ben Yoyada comments on this, that of course the lion is a metaphor. This whole thing for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Caesar feeling that because he has conquered so much, that he is stronger than HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he said, let me meet this God who I have vanquished. Rabbi Shmuel ben Chananya gives him some level of encounter with God. And even that small level of encounter with God with the lion, at 400 parsos away, at 300 parsos away, shakes the Caesar to his core. Causes him to what? To fall off his throne. Of course, I will say, the metaphor for falling off his throne is that when in the presence of God, the Caesar cannot hold on to his autonomy, he cannot hold on to his authority, and he falls off of his throne. An incredible Gemara. We'll continue, Miras Hashem. We're going to do this tomorrow with the encounter between the Caesar and Rabbi Shmuel ben Chananya. I'll share with you a short idea on the parasha. So we'll say the cornerstone or the center stage of Parshas Yisro, of course, is Kabbalah Satorah, Sinaitic revelation. The Baruch appears to Klal Yisrael at Har Sinai. Klal Yisrael says, Nas Nishma, the most incredible statement of blind faith. We will do and we will listen. They get some of the Dibros of Moshe, the rest from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Incredible revelation. So we'll say, when telling Klal Yisrael to prepare, so Moshe Rabbeinu says, this is in Perek Yotes, Pasuk Yud, Vikidashtem Hayom Umachar. You shall prepare yourself today and tomorrow. Vikidashtem Hayom Umachar. So we'll say, so ultimately, again, we know Klal Yisrael really has 3 days of preparation, but Moshe Rabbeinu was talking about the first day over here. You shall prepare yourself, Kidashtem, sanctify yourself today and tomorrow, and you will be ready ultimately again for complete revelation. So the Slonimer Rebbe says something absolutely amazing. He says this phrase, Vikidashtem Hayom Umachar, is not just a mandate or a set of instructions for Klal Yisrael as preparing for Matan Torah, but Vikidashtem Hayom Umachar is a statement of preparation for life. How so? Listen to this. He says, Kan Ramza Torah Tachsis Mitachsisi Halacham B'Yitzhara. Moshe Rabbeinu was teaching us over here in this little phrase, Vikidashtem Hayom Umachar, how to prepare ourselves to do war against the Yitzhara. How so? Listen to this. Shayitzer mefatel adam. Rabbi will say the way the Yitzhara works and tries to incite us or induce us to sin, tells us like this. Rak od hayom shma bekoli, v'hasal mimachar taschil is kadesh. Rabbi will say, what does the Yitzhara say? Listen, I know you want to change. And you should change, the Yitzhara says. It's good for you to change. My one request is, not today. Not today. Just do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day, right? Tomorrow's new beginning. Today it's already 6:40 in the morning. Half of the day is gone anyway, right? You might as well just live today like you've lived the rest of your life. You'll start new tomorrow. And I will say, by the way, when the Yitzhara says it, it actually sounds like, you're right. It's not, I hear it, right? Today's kind of gone on. I have a busy day anyway. Tomorrow we'll get busy with the change. Tomorrow we'll get busy with the new me. Va'ala adam lahashivo. A person has to respond to Yitzhara, lo. Absolutely not. Kinapochu, right? It's almost adarish. Right? Kinapochu, it's just the opposite. Hayom eineni shoma b'kalecha. See, I will say, the great impediment to change is that what? What scares me most about change? What scares me most about change is the sustainability of that change. I know what I have to do in life, and I know what I have to do today. What am I scared about? Can I sustain it till tomorrow? Can I sustain it until the next day? Can I sustain it on an ongoing basis? So the Yitzhara tells me, just today, you and me, we're together. Tomorrow, we'll start our new changes tomorrow. When I want to change, my greatest fear is, I know, what about tomorrow? And I both say, so many times in life, we don't engage in the changes we know we need to engage in because we're concerned that we cannot sustain them. So says the Rebbe something amazing. You know what I say to the Yetzer Hara? Hayom eineni shomea b'kolecha. Today, I'm not going to listen to you. Today is a brand new day, brand new opportunities. Today I'm making the changes I need to make. What about tomorrow? Umachar nira ulai eshma lekolecha ulai lo. Tomorrow, Yetzer Hara, I don't know what's going to be. Maybe I will listen to you. Maybe I won't listen to you. But ultimately, again, today is what I could control. So we'll say, so Shalom Rebbe says, the Yetzer Hara says to me, the day's half gone already. Let's just spend the day together. You block out your schedule. I'll block out my schedule. We'll have a great day together. A great day together. Me and you, the Yetzer Hara and me. Right? And tomorrow you're going to become a tzaddik. And I say to the Yetzer Hara, today is the only thing I control. Today, I'm making the changes. Tomorrow, I may see you, I may not. And says the Rebbe, that's the pshat in the pasuk. See, Rebbe say, it's all a question of how you read the pasuk. Kidashtim hayom u'machar. Both say the way to punctuate, right? Punctuate that pasuk is Vikidashtim hayom! Exclamation point. Today, I am making the changes I need to make. Umachar is there is a question mark there. Question, right? Machar, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, Mosai. I don't know about the sustainability of my changes. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. But what I can tell you is today, Hakidashtem Hayom. Today, I be Mekadesh myself. Today, I'm doing something great. Today, I'm actualizing my potential. Umachar, tomorrow, no one could predict tomorrow. No one could forecast tomorrow. We'll deal with tomorrow when it becomes today. See, Rabbi Osai says the Shalom Rebbe, the great mistake we make when it comes to change is we think about tomorrow. We think about what's going to be in the future. We think about sustainability. We think about can I do this in a week? Can I do this in a year? That's not the way the Jew approaches. That's Yetzer Hara talk. You see, the Yetzer Hara loves to talk about the future at the expense of the present. Yetzer Hara loves to say, let's spend today together. Tomorrow you'll become a tzaddik. And what the Jew says, no, forecast tomorrow. Therefore, I live my life by one simple mantra. Vikidashtem hayom! Exclamation point. I'm going to maximize today. Why am I going to maximize today? I'll say, why? Why? Because that is the only thing in this world I control. Don't fool yourself for a moment thinking that you control tomorrow. The only thing you control is the moment right now. And therefore, I'm going to sanctify and maximize the now, the hayom. Umachar, tomorrow, question mark, we'll see what that's going to be. And we'll say, that was the secret for success that allowed our ancestors to say Nasav and Ishma, and it's the secret of success for us in our daily lives. Vikidashtem hayom! Exclamation. Most of today, don't kick the can down the road. Sanctify yourself in the hayom. Machar, tomorrow, we'll deal with that when it becomes our present. Good Shabbos.